Okay, it says we're live. Let's see if it's on LinkedIn as well.
What's going on, everyone? We're going to start in a second. Just want to make sure it's actually live.
Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for joining. Naman, what's up, man?
Hey, Naman.
Two Namans, what's up?
Two Namans. Oh, wow.
I don't see it live on the page yet. Let's see. Oh, here we go.
I see it live.
Yep, we're good now.
Good to go.
All right.
All right, good.
Let's let some people
All right, everyone.
but start us off, Nate.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining us. We just got back from sunny California to a much cooler Denver and Washington. And we're excited for today. Connor's been working on the Savvy SEO course for months now, and it's finally out. It's live. We're going to be giving some quick updates on TrioSEO in the course, and then we're going to dive into SEO and teach you a lot, answer your questions. It's going to be a fun hour. So to kind of start it off, I'm Nathan Hirsch. I'm one of the co-founders of TrioSEO. I'm going to pass it off to Steven Snyder, the CEO of TrioSEO, to give some updates.
Hey, everyone. Really excited to be here. Thanks for joining. Yeah, we're just really, really excited with all the growth that TrioSEO has seen in just over the last 6 months. We're really building a great team. We have a great pool of clients right now, and we're just really focused on high quality results and, building out all of our processes. And Connor has a lot of great content to go over with today, and just kind of really, dive into a lot of the SEO processes and the systems and strategies that we use at TrioSEO. And I don't want to say too much right now, but I'll pass it over to Connor and we can kind of go from there.
Yeah, before we keep going, TrioSEO has one spot open for March and one spot open for April. So if you're looking for someone to take over your blog, take over your SEO, reach out to us right on the TrioSEO website. And without further ado, the man of the hour, when you think of SEO, you think of Connor Gillivan. Connor, why don't you kind of give a quick background of yourself for those of you that really don't know who you are, and then we'll dive into it.
Sounds good. What's up, guys? I can see from the event, LinkedIn doesn't have the best stats, but looks like there's over 100 people here. If you are here, say hello, throw something in the comments, let us know where you're from and how long you've been in SEO. We're gonna talk all about the 4 pillars of SEO today. It's a big part of my SEO course, the SEO System. And like Nate and Steven has said, I've been in the SEO industry for about 10 years now. If you guys follow my content on LinkedIn, you've kind of seen a lot of the stories of the businesses I've built and how SEO has been a part of that. And you probably know the story of how TrioSEO came together in the middle of last year, but it was very serendipitous. I was building my brand on LinkedIn around SEO. I met Steven Snyder. Me and Nate had been looking to build an SEO agency for a while, and it just worked out perfectly where he was able to come in, be the CEO. Me and Nate can do what we do best in terms of marketing and sales and operations, and we can kind of take it from there. So today I'm going to give you a free training that gives you a little bit of a sneak peek into what my SEO course, the SEO System, is all about. So we're going to dive into that here in a second. I'll share my screen. The training will take about 10-15 minutes. I'll bring in Steven for some expertise as well. And then we'll just open it up to a Q&A. You guys can ask us anything. We'll talk about SEO. We'll talk about marketing. If you have questions about business or running your own business, we can dive into all of that. So just hold your questions for 10-15 minutes, and then we'll jump right into all of it.
Yeah, before we keep going, let us know where you're watching from. You can drop that right into the comments. If you've followed Connor's content for a while, show him some support, show some love, reshare, give it a like, really help us out here. And for those of you who haven't grabbed the SEO System, go to connorgillivan.com/presale. This is your last chance to grab it at 33% off. You get $50 off. Best $100 you'll spend all year, starting tomorrow. And after this live, it's going to be $150. So again, connorgillivan.com/presale. And with that, Connor, take it away.
Awesome. Just want to give people some shout outs here. We got people from all over. We got Zimbabwe, San Francisco, Costa Rica, Bangladesh, India, Vienna, Austria, India, Italy, Pakistan. Thanks all for joining. This is awesome. Cool to see everyone just from all over the world coming together around SEO. So let's dive into this training here real quick. I'm going to share my screen, and hopefully this actually works. Let's see here. Okay. Can you guys see my screen okay?
We're good.
Nate, Steven, can you confirm?
Yep.
All right, awesome. So here's a little preview of the actual SEO system. Very simple. There's 36 different lessons, probably about 30 core lessons. Could take you 2 to 3 hours, depending on how quickly you go through the content. And I just want to give you a quick overview, and then we'll dive right into this training. So the first part is the fundamentals and strategy, and we'll actually be talking about that today. But it's all about how do you actually set up a strategy for SEO that's going to work. And so we dive into the 4 pillars. I talk about content creation, upgrades, backlinks, CRO and UX, and then analytics. And we'll dive into that a little bit more. And then throughout the rest of the course, I'm going deeper into all of these 4 pillars and explaining the exact processes that I use to run this for my businesses, that we use to run it for all of our Trio SEO clients as well. So this is kind of what you'll be getting. It's a one-time purchase. Like Nate said, it's $100 today. You'll get it forever, and I'll keep adding updates over time as SEO changes and I learn more things. For right now, I want to talk a little bit about just how SEO works and what it is at a high level. And like I said, I'm going to pull in Steven as well to help me talk about some of this, and maybe even Nate as well. So the first thing is just that the 4 pillars of SEO are content creation, backlinks, CRO and UX, and then analytics. And if you're listening now, I want you to go ahead and write down or comment which you think is the most important. Is it content? Is it backlinks, CRO and UX, or is it analytics? And we can have a healthy conversation around that. But these are really the 4 things that go into SEO. It's creating the highest quality content. It's gaining authority and relevant backlinks that are pointing to your website, showing that your website is about one specific topic or about a certain specific topics, and Google can see that. And then you're making sure that the reader's experience is top notch. So as you guys know, if you go search something on Google, you don't want to go to a website that looks like it was built in 1995 or 2005. You want something that's up to date. You can read it on your phone, and it's easy to navigate through. And then finally, it's all about analytics. So you can create the content, you can build the backlinks, you can get the CRO and UX to a good level, but if you don't actually measure how things are going, you're never going to know really how your SEO is doing, and you're not going to find those opportunities that can lead to the next level of SEO for your business. Steven, do you have any just overall thoughts on kind of, the high level of these 4 pillars?
Yeah, I mean, I think at its core, it's simpler is always better. And I think people often overthink SEO, but as you kind of outlined here, it really just comes down to these 4. And if you can do those really well and just create a repeatable system that, like we've done at Trio SEO, where we can, identify and then strategize and then just execute on that. I mean, it's really just kind of cookie cutter system from there. You kind of repeat that process and wait for the results to come. As you were kind of talking about content creation, and I think that's going to be probably, I might be biased, but probably one of the top pillars. And I think that we can kind of dive into that pretty soon. But all of the others are, equally as important to their own degree. They all have their own strength or power when it comes to SEO. And yeah, I think this is going to be a great little lesson we have here.
Love it. Cool. So let's dive into pillar 1, which is content creation. And I want to talk to you a little bit about the strategy of it, right? So if you're listening, you probably know content creation is writing blog articles or pages on your website that are speaking about a specific topic that you want to be ranking for on Google and driving traffic to your website for those keywords, and then turning those potential customers into leads, into paying customers for you. And so the strategy behind this and my take on it is to go for the highest quality content at all times. Right now in the industry, we're seeing a lot of differentiations on the spectrum, right? You have people that are going only AI generated content, and it's probably lower quality content, maybe spammy content that they're not editing, they're not making any changes to, they're just trying to publish as much content as possible. So that's probably in your like lower quality content spectrum. We aim at TrioSEO, and myself, I aim for the highest quality content. So within the course, I teach you exactly how to go for high quality content that really addresses the search user's intent and hits on everything that they would need when they come to that article, when they come to that page on your website. They're getting everything out of it and at a very high level, so that they don't have to click back and go to another article. They get everything they need right on that page that they're coming to. Steven, any thoughts on just content creation in general?
Yeah, I think, just as things evolve, especially SEO, it's getting harder and harder to create high quality content, especially with AI coming out. I think that with AI, it's very reminiscent of black hat days, with how people are trying to cut corners and trying to always find the quickest path to success. And as we kind of all know, SEO is definitely not a short-term gain situation. You really have to, invest in the long term and play it out and be patient. And so those who choose to participate with AI content, I think, will likely get burned in the long run. And so as we are, continuing to scale TrioSEO, we really prioritize having good writers and a good team and a good process behind editing and quality assurance and just all of the other on-page metrics that come with creating a high quality product for the readers and the visitors. And so those who prioritize quality will always, have that sustainability attached to their strategy.
Yeah. And I'll say also for everyone listening, your content really comes down to your process and your system. So in the course, I talk all about this content pipeline where you go from, choosing your initial hub and spokes, so your main categories that you want to go after, to the keyword research, to creating the outlines and researching current winners on the first page of Google, to actually writing the content, to optimizing it, to finally publishing it and indexing it. So if you're an SEO and you're creating content for clients, or you're doing it for your own website, or you're a business owner that's trying to do it yourself, it all comes down to your process. It's not just like, hey, let me go start a blank page and try to write a great article. It's trying to figure out that whole system and all the processes that go into it, and making sure that that's set up at a high level so that your content can succeed over time and you can do it consistently for 6, 9, 12 plus months. Nate, you have any thoughts just on content in general from more of like a business owner's perspective?
Yeah. And I also got some housekeeping from the comments as well. So
Nice.
from our side, when we're deciding what business to potentially start or what industry to go into, we're always looking at the competitors and what they look like. Back when we started FreeUp, you have monsters in Fiverr and Upwork and all these different marketplaces, but their content was so-so, and we saw an opportunity to go in and put out really high quality content from the beginning. Same thing with the two bookkeeping brands we own, Ecom Balance and Accounts Balance. A lot of bookkeeping firms are very focused on bookkeeping. They are run by bookkeepers, and they're not putting out lots of high quality content. So we look at the market and we say, hey, we can come in, we can start putting in high quality content from the beginning. And 6 months in, a year in, we were already ranking for a lot of e-commerce bookkeeping keywords, even though those other bookkeeping companies had been in there for 4 or 5 years and had a big head start on us. So quality content is the foundation of really any business that we go into. A few housekeeping things. You asked, what do people think is most important out of the 4 pillars? Content seems to be winning right now. I think we all agree that it kind of starts with that, and without high quality content, the other 3 don't matter as much. Both of you are getting a lot of love. Steven in particular, Curdy says, I am religiously following Steven Snyder content for the past few months. Awesome SEO tips. So
nice.
If you guys are not following Connor and Steven on LinkedIn, go give them a follow, ring their bell. They post every single morning, giving very high value tips. Someone asked, will there be a recording? Yes, there will be. You can also email support@trioseo.com to get that, or go to our YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, check that out, and we'll have the video up there. And someone asked, how do I get this course? How do I register? Go to connorgillivan.com/presale, and you can grab it for $50 off.
Awesome. I love it. Thanks for, I can't see the comments right now while I'm sharing my screen. So appreciate you helping out there. I think after each pillar, we'll just stop and you can do any cleanup like that so that we keep engaging with everyone as we're going through this. Cool. Anyone, so as I go through this too, for anyone watching, go ahead and post any questions you have that we can then use in the Q&A after this. So if you have questions about content creation, throw them in there now. We'll come back to them and go through them once we get to the Q&A. And with that, let's dive into pillar number 2. So pillar number 2 is backlinks, right? So these are links back to your website from other websites. And they're a vote of confidence in Google's eyes that say, hey, we have our own website. You look at us and we have this authority of 0 to 100, and we're pointing back to this other website to say, here's a resource that someone from our site should go check out on this site. And backlinks are really important when it comes to SEO because it shows Google that other people on the internet care about what you're publishing and what your website's all about. So I think, from my eyes, content is more important than backlinks, but at a certain point, you also want to have backlinks building consistently over time. And that's just going to help the authority of your website grow over time. And that's going to help you rank for more keywords and just have Google look at your content a bit more seriously. And so some examples really quickly is like, I have my own website, connorgillivan.com. We have TrioSEO.com. I have a couple other businesses that Nate mentioned, Ecom Balance, Accounts Balance, Outsource School. All of them, we build consistent backlinks to through a number of different strategies. In the course, I dive into 5 or 6 different processes that my team and I use to regularly build backlinks, and it helps your SEO over time. It can also help on specific pages or articles that you want to get ranking, where it maybe the keyword difficulty is a little bit harder and you need some backlinks from other relevant authoritative websites that can help push that content forward and have Google see that, hey, this is a piece that's really highly valued. Other people are linking to it and it's doing really well. The one thing in terms of strategy that I'll say is you don't just want to get spammy backlinks. You want to aim for authoritative and relevant backlinks. So these are backlinks that are coming to you from your industry, from other people, from other websites that are in the same space as you, that are showing that you're a domain expertise in this area, and Google can see that as more backlinks are coming to you. Let's throw it around the horn. Steven, any thoughts on backlinks? And Nate, I'd love to hear your thoughts too.
Yeah, so I think that when it comes to backlinks, I mean, you really hit the nail on the head there that, it really is quality versus quantity in all aspects. I think we can all agree that I would rather have one high quality link compared to 10 spammy links or links that don't really move the needle for the company or the brand, or at least the domain and the relevancy around that. So I think, it's really easy to try and just collect as many backlinks as possible. But at the end of the day, if you are just going after all the backlinks you can get your hands on, regardless of the quality or, that existing website's backlink profile, because you have to think about whoever they're getting links from, like to some degree, they're going to be diminished returns going forward to you as well. And so as you kind of start building up your backlink profile, your process and your strategies around that, you really just want to kind of take an extra step and be extra cautious with who you're reaching out to and who your allies are in that space. Because if they're having, black hat, shady techniques on their side of things, a little bit of that might dribble over onto your side too. So do your due diligence, just be really, extra aware of how everything is played into your SEO. And then, just always aim for the highest quality relationships that you can.
Yeah, I think that the keyword is relevant, and Steven reminds us of that all the time. You don't want some random website that might have a high domain rating, but has nothing to do with anything that you sell, and the content isn't similar in any way. So make sure it's something relevant. And Connor, my favorite way to do it is partnerships with Ecom Balance, for example. We do e-commerce bookkeeping. We partner with all the e-commerce softwares, all the e-commerce coaches, all the e-commerce newsletters, and we're giving them backlinks on our site in exchange for backlinks on their site, while also doing guest blog posts and newsletter blasts and other things that go into the partnership. So that's just one way, but it's probably our favorite way, and it helps in a bunch of different ways. Connor's getting a lot of compliments to kind of circle back to the comments. I've been following Connor for SEO tips for a long time. Thank you, Manjo. Thank you for this amazing course. Got that. Let's see, what else did I have on here? I'll save the questions for afterwards.
Yep.
I think we are good here. Connor, any question that you want to ask the community?
Yeah, talk to me about what your favorite backlink strategy is. There's tons out there, right? You can do it through partnerships, like Nate was saying. You can, reach out to other publications and blogs where it would be great for you to be mentioned and try to get a mention. You can do guest posts. You can build linkable content. You can do digital PR. There's so many ways to build backlinks, and I think a lot of people get overwhelmed with how many ways there are to do backlinks in SEO. And so they just decide not to, or they go the easy route and try to buy them, or, go some way that isn't the best way to do it. So what's your favorite way to gain backlinks? What's your go-to process? And yeah, let's comment on that. And I'd love to hear what people are saying. Cool. Let's talk about pillar number 3. So pillar number 3 is all about CRO, which is conversion rate optimization, and UX, which is the actual user's experience. So let's say that you nailed content, you nailed backlinks, you've got all this content on your website that's ranking and driving traffic, but the website design of your content is really poor. So someone comes to your website, they're on the article, they got there because you were ranking on Google, but then they're turned off. They can't view it on mobile, or things are broken, or you have a lot of pop-ups coming up at them that are distracting, or the setup and the design of the actual content is really poor. There's a lot of different things that go into CRO and UX that could make it a bad experience. And then that person goes and clicks the back button, and that hurts your SEO, right? Google sees them clicking the back button. They didn't spend a lot of time on your page. They go look for another result. And Google can say, oh, okay, that must have been a bad experience, them going to your website. So CRO and UX is a huge part of it. I think it gets even more important as the years go on, as more and more people are just used to high level and high quality design on the internet. You have to make sure that your website design is up to par, and it covers a lot of stuff, like I said. So this is another big pillar: content, backlinks. You want to make sure you nail your CRO and UX. And for business owners, whether you're an SEO or a business owner, this one's probably one of the most important, because while traffic is cool and it's awesome to say, hey, I rank for 1,000 keywords and get 5,000 traffic to my website from search, if none of that's converting to leads and to eventual paying customers, the ROI for SEO just isn't there. And so SEO really isn't worth anything unless you can actually convert them, turn them into leads, turn them into customers. And so this is a big part of that. And as an SEO, it's important to have that expertise as well, so that if you're doing this for clients or you're doing it for your own business, you can show them, hey, I'm bringing traffic, but it's also turning into leads. It's turning into customers for you. And this is totally worth doing in the long run. So that's CRO and UX. Let's throw it around the horn again. Steven, Nate, what do you guys got?
Yeah, I really just am a big nerd when it comes to UX. I think it's so important and often overlooked. And like you said, you can have all the traffic in the world, but if it's not doing anything and it's just kind of, there, or people are leaving after laying on that page, or, take it one step back, maybe they're not even clicking in it. You could be ranking, top 10 or top 5 in the search, but if no one's clicking it, Google's going to take note of that, and you're probably going to drop down in rankings. And so, when people land on that page from start to finish, every bit of information that they're taking in, whether it's the colors, the shading, how things are positioned, images, everything, that all matters into the user experience of that page. And so really have to take, a step deeper into knowing your customer, how they think, connecting with them, and then also just testing things around and seeing, like, if we place a call to action over here, how does that respond versus if we place it 2/3 down, or a exit attempt pop-up versus no exit attempt pop-up. So, there's different ways to optimize your CRO, optimize your UX without making it a blast for that user and a really poor experience. And I think that that's kind of a common misconception that people get confused, is that if they start adding a pop-up or if they add in a CTA, that it's going to ruin the experience. But I think that's actually the opposite. I think they can actually improve it, because if someone's going to that page with a certain intent in mind, giving them that one extra, piece of information, or a lead magnet, a digital download, whatever it might be, just really kind of adds to the entire experience and just kind of like makes it a more cohesive visit.
Yeah,
love it. I have 2 points. So first of all, I think people's standards are just really high when it comes to website design. How much time do you really spend on a poorly designed website? I know me personally, if I go to a site and it looks crummy, I'm probably getting off that site pretty quick and looking for an alternative that's easier on the eyes or whatever it is. And second is lead magnets. We're more than willing to play the long game with all of our businesses, whether it's outsource school, ecom balance. We understand that you got to build trust, you got to provide value, you got to give out resources. And so if someone's going to our blog or they're going to our website, if they don't buy right away, that's okay. We're going to give them different opportunities to grab our free resources, impress them with our SEO SOPs, for example, that you can get on the TrioSEO site, and prove that trust over time and convert them later and bring in email marketing and all that kind of stuff. So that kind of all goes into the CRO and UX.
Yeah, love it. If you got questions about CRO and UX, throw them down. If you have any thoughts, like what's your favorite way to try to convert search traffic into actual leads and customers, throw that down. I think it's a healthy conversation to have, where like there's content, there's backlinks, but then there's this whole area of CRO and UX that a lot of SEOs overlook, a lot of marketers overlook, and they're focused on the other things because it is a lot to handle for one person or for a team of people. So let's throw down some thoughts that we all have on this, could be helpful, so we all can learn and pick up some strategies from each other.
1 second. One person said they're having issues loading it on LinkedIn. I think it's working for everyone else, but if you guys could just confirm that you can still hear us, see us, and that there's no issues, post that in the comment. I would appreciate it, and we can kind of keep going from there. I just want to make sure we're not running into issues, but it sounds like everyone's paying attention and questions are flying in. So I think we're good.
All right, sweet. All right, let's do pillar number 4, and then we'll dive into the Q&A. So pillar number 4 is analytics. As you see down at the bottom, analytics validate your SEO work, right? You don't want to do SEO blind. It's almost like, I like to give the analogy of, imagine that you are trying to drive your car with a blindfold on, and even if you're going somewhere that you've gone 100+ times, you're never going to make it there because of all the things that can come up along the way. SEO is very much the same way, and analytics is a big part of that. So even if you've done SEO in the past and you've had success with it, if you're not looking at the analytics, if you're not looking at how the content's performing, how your website's doing overall on a monthly, maybe even a weekly basis, you're going to struggle to get the best type of results and get to the end outcome that you want to. So analytics is all about looking at Google Analytics, Google Search Console. There's tons of tools out there like Ahrefs and SEMrush and a bunch of others that you can look at to go and see how your content's ranking, what backlinks you're acquiring, how long people are staying on your page and enjoying the experience, how many leads you're converting from search on a regular basis, and a number of other things. So analytics is just a huge part of SEO. If you're doing SEO and you're not including analytics, you're missing out on a lot of opportunities and a lot of low-hanging fruit. So this is a big one. Similar to the first 3 pillars, the strategy is always just having a good process. So for myself, I have a monthly process that I've been running for 10+ years, where I get certain data on my SEO and on search on a monthly basis. I can go look at that. I can make decisions off of it. I can identify potential issues or opportunities, and then I go from there. And it's even something that I've delegated to someone else to put together. So then I just then get the report and able to make decisions from it. So again, the strategy all comes down to your process, making sure that it's good, it's consistent, and can be repeated over and over as you do more SEO. Steven and Nate, what do you guys got?
Steven, before you go, real quick, a bunch of people said they tuned in late and they want to know if it's being recorded. It is being recorded. Once we are done in 30 minutes, you will be able to watch it on LinkedIn. But you can also go to TrioSEO on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, and we will have it up there soon as well. So you can watch the full recording. Sorry, Steven, take it away.
Yeah, so I mean, just like Connor was saying, analytics are so important just because, if you can't track and can't monitor the actual results of any content or, backlinks in general, whatever it might be that you're trying to look at, you can't really gauge whether it's successful or not. And so we, obviously take that into consideration when looking at the long-term strategy and the short-term, just to kind of see how things are reacting. And I think that if you want to even take it one step further, you can tie it back to pillar number 3 and take a look at how the analytics tie into conversion or UX, because you can collect data in Google Search Console, see what people are using to click through to your article, see what keywords are popping up in Google, and then go ahead and tweak your title or optimize your content just a little bit further based on the actual analytics. So across the board, analytics are just wildly important. And if you neglect them, or you think that they're scary just because you don't want to dive into the numbers, you're really kind of shooting yourself in the foot there.
Yeah, it's similar to bookkeeping. If you don't know the numbers of your business, you're making decisions blindly, you're just guessing, you're using gut, and you want to make decisions based on what the numbers are actually telling you. And SEO is no different. Same thing with any other marketing efforts that you do. You want to be making tweaks, making changes based on the numbers. And our overall mentality on metrics to track is just simpler is better. If you're trying to track 50 things every single month, it's going to be hard for you. You're probably going to not have time for it, and it's going to get lost. If you start off with a small amount of things that you're tracking and add on to it from there, that's more likely than not the better approach.
Love it. Any comments that need to be addressed?
No, we got some good ones. Someone said, let's connect with SEO experts. I'm guessing a lot of people here love SEO, so feel free to connect with each other, engage with each other's posts. We got a bunch of questions that we will save to the end.
Cool.
And yeah, I just want to thank everyone for being here too. We're not done yet. We're going to get to Q&A. But if you have questions, leave them. If you want to leave Steven, leave Connor any compliments, do that now. If you like their content, if you engage with their content, and I'll let Connor keep going.
Awesome. So yeah, that kind of wraps up the 4 pillars. Like I said earlier, if you're interested in getting this, you can get all of it and all of my deeper thoughts and processes and screen shares in the SEO system. So come grab that. And again, it's just connorgillivan.com/presale, and you'll get it for $50 off today for only $100. And yeah, that's kind of the training for today. I wanted to just hit the high level strategy and get you guys some good information about SEO. And now we can dive into any questions you have and go in whatever direction that we want to.
Yeah, and if you're not ready to get the course, don't worry, we're not going anywhere. You will be able to buy it later. You just won't get the $50 off. So if you want to save $50, go to connorgillivan.com/presale, and you'll be able to get it a little bit cheaper. I'm going to kind of try to go in order with the pillars if I can.
Nice.
Scrolling up.
Going through all the comments now. Thanks everyone for being here. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. Thanks for contributing. As you guys know, I'm just out here trying to make SEO simpler for millions. So you guys are probably 100 plus today, maybe even thousands that will see this. So thank you for being a part of the community. I'll continue to bring the fire every day about SEO, and I'm doing it over on Twitter/X now as well. So if you're over on that platform, come follow me, come check me out. I've got good content, a little bit shorter, a little snarkier over there than on LinkedIn, because that's kind of the vibe there. So come join me there as well.
All right. So Jill has my favorite question of the day. For those of you who don't know, I've been spending a lot of time on YouTube for all our companies. So Jill asks, would YouTube count as content creation towards SEO as these videos come into Google search, and how do you factor that in?
You want to start, Steven?
Yeah, I can jump in. So yeah, absolutely, Jill. I think, anything within the content category or content umbrella is definitely going to contribute to, especially if you have, a branded YouTube channel and that is connected to your website or whatever you're trying to do. The way I kind of like to think about it is if it's within the content or even the Google kind of ecosystem, then absolutely it's going to help benefit. It might not have as much of an impact as, a high 90 DR backlink, but if you're posting a YouTube video and that's on a certain topic, and then you have a complementary blog article and you can embed that YouTube video as a supplementary piece of content to just enhance the overall feel of it, of course, that's going to be a massive push and just a massive leg up on your competitors who don't have that. So yeah, I think the way I like to look at it is if if there's a resource available that allows you to have a better, higher quality article compared to the next article in line, without a doubt, you're gonna perform better in the long run.
Yeah, agreed. I don't have too much to add there. I think if you can add video, it's amazing, and it can help with your UX and just people staying on page longer as well, which is a good metric to be aiming towards.
Kevin asked when I'm going to join a beard to join you guys, grow a beard. If you guys Google my name, there's some not so pretty pictures of me with a really red beard on Google somewhere, but I don't do it very often.
Nice.
To keep going there, someone asked about word count for content. What are your guys' thoughts with word count?
Yeah, so when it comes to word count, I always try to first take a look at the top ranking search results and just see what is the average word count. So, if the average is maybe 3,000 words, you probably don't want to add an article that's going to be 250 words. I also wouldn't say it's not necessary to create double that just to try and rank it. Good rule of thumb that we try to abide by at Trio SEO is create a word count in an article that makes sense to the readers and to cover the topic in general. So, when we go and create the outlines, all of the H2s and the H3s and the FAQs and all of the bits and pieces of information within that outline are SEO optimized and are added with intent. And so I think that's kind of the main thing to take hold of is you don't want to start adding fluff just because you think, oh, I'm missing an extra 500 words or 1,500 words. I need to make that word count happen. No, it's actually the opposite. You want to make sure that you're answering all the questions, going into depth, and making sure that your piece of content is just the ultimate piece of content relative to the competing, and how you can just give that entire reader and that visitor the best experience possible.
Yeah, love it. What do you guys think? What's the ideal word count? For me, it all comes down to the research. So if I'm going after a keyword, I'm going to look at what's ranking on the top 10, top 20 results. I want to see what their word count is, and then I want to actually go look at what the quality of the content is. Is it a lot of fluff? Is it a lot of filler? Or does the topic require just more word count because there's more topics to cover? There's more headings that should be in the article. It all really comes down to the research for me. I think in general, I'm looking at that like 1,500 to 2,000 word count per article. But that can change drastically depending on the research and what I actually find. So this is definitely a touchy topic. I know I've posted in the past where it's like 1,500 word count, and people have blown me up and said that's absurd and can't apply to every single article. So my answer now is go do your research and decide it from there. And there's no one answer meets all.
Before we keep going, I want to apologize to everyone. If you joined our live last time, we brought your questions on screen, and this time we changed it up. We made Connor the host since it was his course, and I lost a little bit of functionality. So I'm not able to do that. And if I also don't give you credit for the question, I apologize. I'm kind of scrolling around to try to find them, and I'm losing names in the process as we do it. So I apologize for that. Muhammad has a question. How do we identify high quality content for our own writing? For example, if we have writers write it, what's a good way to double check and make sure the quality is good? And how can we tell if it's high, average, or low quality?
Yeah, so this is definitely a very difficult and challenging aspect of creating content, because if there's so many different high levels, and what that means is definitely it's going to be subjective at the end of the day. So I think that if you're starting from fresh and you're starting from zero, what I would do is go take a look at the top brands who are kind of in that top spot. So if it's SEO, take a look at the Ahrefs blog, take a look at the SEMrush content, and kind of try to find those authoritative sources who are publishing content and seeing what it is. I think that quality content has so many different sub aspects within it. So it can be, is the grammar top notch? Does it make sense for the flow and the architecture, or the reader psychology and how they move through it? Are there UX elements included, such as like a table of contents and a TLDR summary section or FAQs? And so quality as a definition or kind of a topic has probably 10 plus, if not more, little sub niches within that. So if you're starting from scratch, like I said, go look at the top brands and then just create a checklist. And that's what we do at Trio SEO, is where we have it such a dialed in process now, where our content managers and all the other team members just know exactly what to look for. And if we're missing the mark on certain aspects, we send it back to the writer, we send it to the editor, and just really kind of hone in on that piece of content until it's that piece of quality that we're looking for.
Yeah, agree with all that. A couple tools you can use as well as Grammarly, like run the piece of content through that. It's very quickly going to show you if the person is good at writing English or not, or the language that you're writing in. You can also, like nowadays, I would also run it through an AI checker. If you're hiring a writer, there's a decent chance that they might go throw it into ChatGPT and send you over an article and see if they can get away with it. So definitely be checking for anything that is AI generated, because if you're hiring a writer, you obviously don't want that. And yeah, like Steven said, just make a checklist, put something together that before any piece of content goes live, you throw it through that checklist, you make sure that it's the highest possible quality content. And if you're just not sure what high quality content is, maybe, I don't know, go talk to friends, make some friends in the SEO space, people that have been in it longer than you, and go see what they think and give them some pieces so they could tear them apart for you and redline them. I also want to ask a question. So it looks like we've got over 100, maybe close to 200 people here. Looks like that's been pretty consistent. How long have you guys all been in the SEO industry? What's everyone's kind of like length? Are you all new? Have you been in it for a while? Go ahead and share that in the comments. We'd love to see how long everyone's been at it.
I want to move on to backlinks just so we can cover all four question-wise. But if we didn't answer your question, grab Connor's course. The answer will be there. If not, you can reach out to him for support after there. But just by reading these questions, I think most of them are going to be answered in detail in the course. So I want to keep going to backlinks, and I actually want to take the first one. I saw it before, but now I can't find it because like a million more comments came in. But essentially, any advice on pitching for backlinks, for reaching out to people to get backlinks? And this is kind of my mentality. It's like dating. If you reach out to someone and you ask for a kiss right away, and that's your first thing that you ask for, it's probably not going to happen. You got to find a different way to engage, a different way to build that partnership. If Steven is a big influencer and the first message that you send him or the first email that you send him is, hey, can I get a backlink on your website? Steven, how many of those emails do you get every single week? You're just ignoring that email. If you reach out and provide some kind of value, if you engage it with this content, if you send them a client, if you figure out some other way to help them and add value, hop on a networking call, that's a much easier ask down the line. So that's kind of my take on it. But what's your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, so especially on LinkedIn, I think that I probably am a sliver of the percentage of DMs relative to Connor about how many backlink offers we get in our messages and stuff like that. But people obviously try to pitch their backlinks or try to ask for backlinks and the other side of it. And just like Nate said, it's a relationship, it's an ally, it's a partnership at the end of the day. And especially with just how high quality SEO has to be to succeed nowadays. We're not willing to risk anything without doing due diligence, and we wouldn't suggest any of you guys do without either. And so if someone's just messaging me and says, hey, I have 100 different websites and this is how much it costs, let me know how much your price is. And it's just like, that's automatically not the right approach, because I don't know anything about you. I don't know anything about those sites. I'm not going to invest time to go do research on that. And if you're offering it to me, I'm probably just a drop in the pool amongst 100 other people that are probably getting that message. And so I would always kind of trend on this side of backlinks are worth the effort that it probably takes to get those links, because at the end of the day, if they're hard and more challenging to get, then they're probably going to have more upside attached to them. But if you can just get them with a swipe of a credit card or a $5 PayPal send, then everyone else can, and that means that they're not exclusive. And if they're not exclusive, that means that they're just they're not high quality. So take it with a grain of salt and just do your research.
Yeah, from my side, it's just all about personalization and customization. So if you want to go pitch a website for a backlink, I like Nate's suggestion of go try to build a relationship first, but actually show that you looked at their website, the industry, your business is relevant to it, you like what they're doing. Like put together an email that actually shows you spent, even if it's 2 minutes researching their website, you did a little bit of research, you looked at them, and you have some nice things to say. And my policy usually is always give first before you ask. So like Nate said, build the relationship, jump on a call with them, add value in some way. Maybe it's you're offering to write a guest article for them that adds value to them. They could then maybe give you a backlink. If you have your website where you can mention them in some way, or there's something you could do for them before you ask for something, give first, ask later. It's going to come back and help you in the long run.
Yeah, I like to think Connor, Steven, and myself are nice people genuinely and respond to most messages. But like Connor said, if you clearly have no idea anything about us, like Connor and I used to run a pretty large VA marketplace. And when the message starts with, hey, have you ever thought about hiring a virtual assistant? Clearly you haven't done any research. You don't know who we are, and it's going to be tough for us to respond. So kind of a funny example, but hopefully you guys get the point. Someone asked for other backlink strategies besides partnerships. I'll start with my other favorite, which is podcasts. I go on a lot of podcasts. It's good for other things like putting out good content and getting in front of thousands of people. But it also gets you a pretty quick backlink on the website, whoever podcast it is. Obviously, you want to go on a podcast with someone who's been in the space a bit and not be on someone's first episode of a brand new website and brand new podcast. But podcasting and being a guest on podcasts is a great way to get backlinks as well. What are your guys' other strategies?
Yeah, one of my favorites is calculators and digital assets. I think that they're so overlooked. Most of the keywords that you can find that have calculator attached to them are crazy search volume. They're usually low competition because people don't go after them. And if you're depending on the site that you're using or the CMS, you can download a calculator plugin pretty easily or work with a developer and just whip one up probably in less than a week or a few days. And that is going to create such a valuable asset to your content and to your entire strategy. And then if it is a high quality calculator or, kind of thing that you've built, people are going to want to share it. People are going to link to it. They're going to need it. And it's an actual tool for them at the end of the day, rather than just trying to create, another infographic or another skyscraper article or whatever it is that you're going after. So kind of similar to what I was saying previously about backlinks, I think that the more effort and the more energy that you're willing to put into the process in order to get the reward at the end of the tunnel, it's definitely going to be worth it.
Yeah, that's a great one. I want to offer that too, but we have Bassett asked, are you guys doing digital PR? So this is something I've been learning more about. We don't offer it as a company as TrioSEO, but it's definitely a great backlink strategy that you can tap into as well. And I talk about all in the course too. For me, another backlink strategy would be creating lead magnets. So it could be an ultimate guide. It could be the common mistakes in an industry and how to solve them. It could be just going really deep on a specific topic and design it so it's a really cool PDF and download. And then you can share that with other people in your industry. You can say, hey, I put together this 50-page, ebook on SEO or beginner for SEO. It looks like your audience would relate to this and really enjoy it. Would you be willing to share it with them or link to it from your website, etc.? It's just a way to add a lot of value, kind of like what Steven was saying. If you can create a piece of content that people will actually get value from, there's a much better chance that you'll be able to go get backlinks for it, or that over time people just hear about it and link back to it as well. So creating really great content that can be downloaded is another great backlink strategy.
Love it. I'm going to keep going from backlinks unless you guys have any last thoughts there.
No, go ahead. Jump to CRO and UX.
Yeah. So pillar 3, can you give some examples of CRO? I'll let Steven go first.
Yeah. So some of my favorite CRO ones are going to be, lead magnets work great. Adding in, like a exit intent pop-up or some sort of like sticky widget if you're working like a desktop. It kind of has to depend on taking a look at the analytics, going to pillar 4 and seeing how are majority of your visitors coming onto your site. And so, for example, if it's mobile, putting a sticky widget, it's not going to work. So you have to kind of take a look at the data and kind of see where it makes the most sense into adding that tactic or that kind of strategy, and then just working backwards from there and kind of going down the list of seeing what is the best conversion rate optimization strategy you can implement, and then obviously testing that, seeing what works, split testing it, and kind of iterating from there.
Yeah, agreed.
Real quick before you keep going, Connor, someone said they went to the pre-sale page and it's saying 150 instead of 100. I just went there and it is showing $50 off. But if for whatever reason you are having issues checking out, just email Connor at connorgillivan.com, and we will make sure that you get the deal.
Yeah, agreed. And for CRO, so another way to think about it is once you finish writing a blog article, or it could be even when you're creating the outline or actually writing, is you want to be thinking about your end customer. So who's the ideal person that's coming to read this content, and what could you offer them that would be beneficial to them? So as you're going through the article, maybe 33% of the way down, you have a small section that offers them a free download that complements the content they're reading. 66% of the way down, if they've made it that far, they're probably pretty interested in the content. Maybe you make them an offer to jump on a call with you. That's another great way to convert someone and get them into your list. And then down at the bottom, again, maybe it's like, hey, we create content like this all the time. Come join our email list and join, 10,000 other people that are getting great content from us all the time. So it's less of like you can have a checklist and you can have things you go through to make sure that it's included in all your content, but it's also just a mindset. It's thinking, who's my ideal customer? What do they want? And with each piece of content, what can I offer them that's going to get them to sign up or stay interested in what they're reading currently?
Jill says she loves the shirt swag. I just want to point out that Connor didn't want us all to wear the same shirt, but Steven and I talked him into it. We also just did a photo shoot while we were in Cali, so lots more pictures to come rocking the TrioSEO swag. Someone said that their website is on Squarespace and they don't seem too happy about that. I know you guys love WordPress, but how does deciding between WordPress and other things affect UX?
Yeah, so this one's always it's always kind of half in, half out, depending on what side of the conversation you fall on. Squarespace is great. I think that it's a great user-friendly platform, but the asterisk attached to that is that it is very kind of restrictive and limiting in what you can do. And so, if you're kind of looking for the basics, landing page, about page, contact page, small blog, it probably fits the job and kind of works well. However, when it gets into other things like lead magnets or technical SEO or all the other kind of components, that you want to look at under the hood and kind of make improvements on, you definitely will see kind of, just more restrictions around that compared to WordPress. So, yeah, I kind of would say, if you're kind of on the fence or you're looking to make the switch, just take a look at what are kind of the long-term goals of that website or your content. And if it makes sense to migrate over, work with someone who can help you ensure all the redirects are set up. But at the end of the day, it kind of really depends on your goals and how you plan to, incorporate a lot of like the lead magnet setups that we've done or the blogs or just kind of what you're looking for in a website and your content.
Yeah. My thought on this is WordPress is definitely my go-to. I've had a lot of people that have had good experience with Webflow, which is a newer website designer builder as well. And just something to keep in mind is with any of them, so WordPress, Webflow, Squarespace, any of these website builders, you're always going to get about 80 to 90% of what you want. There's always going to be 10 to 20% of things that you need or changes that you'd want. And that's just something that applies to kind of all software. So something to keep in mind. I think WordPress does a great job of it because they have this plugin community where you can download plugins that add more functionality to the basic WordPress setup. Squarespace might have that as well, but it might not be as robust. So finding a platform where you have access to these other tools that you can easily throw onto the website and give you more functionality is a big part of it, and will make it a lot easier to run the website and do your SEO as well.
Awesome. So we got about 7 minutes left. I'm going to jump to the fourth pillar, analytics. Nina asks, what is the best frequency and time to conduct SEO analytics?
It's a good one. Yeah, so I would say at least monthly is a minimum. I would say it depends on what platform you're using. So, everyone kind of likes to look at SEMrush and Ahrefs just because the data is so easy to understand. But you have to keep in mind that if you're using tools that are not Google official, like Google Search Console or GA4, the data is going to be an estimate. So take it with a grain of salt. I, kind of fall in that bucket as well. I like to look at Ahrefs just because it's easy to understand. But then I also go to the other tools just to kind of get confirmation of that. So to your question, I would say minimum, probably look at monthly. It's probably a better gauge, and then quarterly, definitely. Just so you can kind of get a broad spectrum of things and kind of see where things are shifting over, a multi-month time horizon, and then have better data and better information to make educated decisions around your strategy.
Yeah, agreed. Monthly is what I do. I've always done it. I'll go look at stuff if I just need more content ideas, or I want to go look at what's currently ranking or new content that's ranking and find new opportunities for upgrades. But monthly is kind of the go-to to actually like sit down and have an hour or so where I look at the data, figure things out, plan the next month, et cetera, et cetera. But if you're a full-time SEO, you're probably looking at analytics daily, if not weekly. But in terms of like having a good report to look at, I would go monthly.
Awesome. Let's see. All right. So the question that we get a lot, how long should we expect SEO to take if we're starting from scratch? What time frame should we be looking at?
Oh, from scratch, I would say minimum probably 6 to 8 months is if you're lucky. And that's, if you have a few links you're trying to build on the side, but if you're just focused on content and there's zero backlinks involved and you're starting from scratch, I would say give it at least a year. And that's not going to, you're probably going to see a trickle in of keywords and traffic before that. But, if I always say play the long game, and that we cannot stress that enough. SEO just takes so much time. And, if you have an established site though, you can probably expedite that process. But links are definitely going to help. So if you're starting from scratch, try to just figure out a process to collect a few passive links here and there, and that will definitely speed things up. But yeah, we always try to warn people that if you're starting from scratch, it's definitely going to be anywhere from like 6 to 12 months before you start to see some traffic trickle in.
Yeah, agreed. I think it also comes down to strategy, right? So whether it's a brand new website or a site that has some authority, are you going after actual content and keywords that are going to drive you customers, or are you going after like top of funnel content that is just going to bring a lot of visits to your website? So it kind of depends on what your goals are and getting clear on those goals too. So if your goal is, I want to drive as many potential customers and leads, then you're probably going after lower volume, more bottom of funnel, high intent keywords. And if you can find some of those that aren't as competitive as some of the like shorter tail, really high traffic keywords, you could see results in 6 months to 9 months, right? And if you have an established website, you could start ranking for those pretty quickly and get results within 3 to 6 months. So it really just depends on how old your website is, how much authority it has, what content you already have on there, and then also what your strategy is, what keywords you're going after, and what your goals are for the business as well.
Yeah, and just to kind of add one more thing, I would say it also really depends on not only the strategy that your keywords are going after, but all of the other kind of 1,000 plus things you have to do. So internal linking, making sure your site is set up correctly, technical SEO, your images. So it's not just publish content, wait for traffic to come in. It's really just how well can you do all of the other things and making sure that your site is just this really strengthened SEO kind of bullet to tackle all of the other competitors.
Nice. I think I want to wrap it up with that question. And to kind of give a background, I mean, Connor all year has just been crushing LinkedIn and posting really high quality SEO content. And Stephen and I are here supporting him. He spent months putting this course together. A lot of thought, energy went into it. He did a lot of market research when it came to price, and he wanted to price it fairly and something that everyone here could afford. I know there are other courses out there that are thousands of dollars or whatever, but I would put Connor and his SEO skills against anyone out there. And just because he's done it for real businesses, he's done it for FreeUp, which we grew to 12 million and exited. He does it for our 4 B2B businesses now. He's not just running some SEO agency, although we are doing that now, but he actually does it for our own companies. So a lot of thought went into this, a lot of effort, and Connor's always trying to give back. Stephen, anything that you want to add to that before we pass it to Connor to end this?
No, I have a lot of confidence in the course, and I checked it out myself. I looked at, all of the kind of inner pieces to it. And yeah, I mean, Connor knows his stuff. You guys have been following him forever. You see his daily content. And so, I really hope that you guys check it out and, can learn a lot of good stuff from it, and go and test it on your sites. And hopefully it can benefit all of your guys' SEO efforts down the road.
Love it. Thank you all for joining us here today. I think we had consistently over 150 people for the full hour. So I'm sure people were coming and going. Hopefully we had 500 to 1,000 people here on this live. We'll continue to do these on a quarterly basis. So if you want to come talk to us and see us and ask us questions, we'll do another one in the second quarter as well, and just keep going on this trend of sharing SEO advice. We might dive into some business topics as well. But yeah, today was all about the SEO course, the SEO system. Go ahead and check it out at connorgillivan.com/presale. If you have any questions or issues, reach out to me on LinkedIn or send me an email, connor@connorgillivan.com. But really appreciate all of you. Thanks for joining, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Yeah, just to clarify, because someone asked. So if you go to just connorgillivan.com, the course is there, but it's there at full price, $150. You got to go to the special link, connorgillivan.com/presale. You can get it for $100, $50 off. And thanks everyone for your support. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you next quarter.
See you guys.
Thanks.